Insects could help fight world hunger. So why don't Americans eat bugs? 2 billion people worldwide regularly eat bugs, but only a small percentage of Americans do. This company is trying to change that. Intomo Farms sells things like cricket protein powder and flour, and even seasoned cricket snacks. To produce the same amount of protein as beef, crickets take way less water and land, and produce less methane gas than other forms of traditional livestock. Pound for pound, crickets have twice as much protein as beef, and some bugs have even more. So why don't Americans eat bugs? To put it short, Americans don't eat bugs because they aren't accustomed to eating them. Bugs need a rebranding. Intomo Farms isn't trying to fully replace meat, just provide a nutritious, sustainable alternative.
Oh boy. Like I've said plenty of times, they want us to eat bugs. It's gross. I don't like it. But hey, what are you going to do? Just want to welcome you guys to our first live stream. I'm going to see how it goes. Go ahead, and if you guys are watching, comment. I can see it. I might type back to you. I don't know. But hi, I'm Ricky Kurtz, and this is another episode of A Couple of Hoosiers podcast, and I'm your host. Let's go ahead and pop over to this guy.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, you can go ahead and say something.
Don't you yell at me.
Who are you?
How exciting. Oh my goodness, I am the co-host, Charles Goldsmith.
Yeah, come on, let's try to have a little bit of professionalism here or something. Jeez. But
you're lucky you're there and I'm here, or I'd stab you. No.
Threaten me with a good time. But all right, yeah, we got a couple of topics that we want to talk about. I just wanted to play that first video because I've talked about the Great Reset a few times, and yeah, they want us to eat bugs. It's just, and their whole logic is the whole climate change, global warming stuff. They say that cows fart too much and bugs fart less, so obviously we just got to start eating bugs. But you know what? They're crazy. The biggest part,
first, the bugs really are like, but it's a preference. Bugs really are higher in protein than most things that we eat, but it's a preference, man. The reason why people that eat bugs is because they are some serious naturalist or something, or that's damn near the only option they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I was.
Why don't Americans eat bugs? Because we have cows and we like steak and real food and slathered with onions and
nice good ribeye. Oh my gosh.
Shush.
But all right, yeah. There's been a couple things that have happened with in Indiana that I want to talk about. The first thing is going to be the mall shooting that had happened down in Greenwood. We're going to talk about that, and then also the unfortunately the 10-year-old girl who had to travel to Indiana from Ohio to get an abortion. We're going to talk about that and kind of jump into like what like is really going on with that situation. But yeah, I really want to start covering more of like what's going on within this state, since we are a Couple of Hoosiers podcast. We should cover more of what's going on in the state of Indiana,
on top of world events.
Oh, definitely.
I do think, yeah.
But I want people in our state to like understand like what's going on, because I mean everybody pays attention to like what's happening like throughout the world and like throughout the country and all this stuff, but
no, they don't.
I mean, well, some people do. Like you like get the people that are like talking about all this stuff and they're like covering like all the main events. But I mean, all the local stuff kind of like gets like thrown at the bottom of the list, and like nobody really hears about it. Like we had talked about a few episodes ago, how I wanted to email all of our senators. Well, I did that, and I've gotten nothing back. So I don't know. I'm going to have to keep on emailing them and bugging them, because
you're going to have to badger them, because, yeah, technically you're a nobody right now.
Yeah, definitely. So. But I did get one response from one person. Oh, I can't remember who it was.
Thought it was Todd Young.
No, that was a different thing. Yeah, I sent my... if you guys go back and check out the episode that we were talking about. Oh man, I can't even. My mind is going blank right now. I can't even think of the episode name. Here, hold up one
The
second.
rhino hunters?
Yeah, the rhino hunt. Go back and check out that episode. That was episode 16, rhino hunting. And I had talked about Todd Young and kind of a response that his office sent me about some complaints that I had on his red flag laws, his stance on them and all that. But yeah, he never got back with me. But you know what? We'll just go ahead and just get into this stuff. We're going to talk about this first thing over here. Let's pull this up. This is from the Indy Star. Saving countless lives, armed bystander praised for intervening in Greenwood Mall shooting. Going down here, Greenwood leaders have used several titles to describe Elijah Dicken, the 22-year-old Indiana man who intervened in a mass shooting at the Greenwood Park Mall on Sunday night. A hero, a good Samaritan even. Gun rights advocates have yet another a good guy with a gun. I'm grateful a good guy with a gun was there to prevent further casualties and am praying for the families who lost loved ones in this senseless tragedy, said U.S. Rep. Jim Banks, a Republican who represents Fort Wayne and the northeast parts of the states, in a tweet Sunday night. But, yeah, so pretty much...
my hat goes off to that dude.
Oh, definitely. But pretty much what happened was there was a gunman that came in with 2 rifles. He went into the bathroom and then came out and started shooting. And this guy, Elijah, decided that, I'm not going to stand for this. And he was carrying legally since Indiana now has a permitless carry and we can carry wherever we go. I think there are some places that are still like restricted, like government buildings. Weird. And schools, obviously, you can't carry there. But yeah, he was carrying and he noticed this happening and he reacted and stopped potentially more victims from being murdered by this crazed lunatic who just decided to come into this mall and start shooting people. But I don't think we've found out any motives as to why he did it.
And see, I can't believe like they're trying to villainize this guy like a vigilante or something, Like we need more people like that. It was like that a couple episodes back. I showed you that one video of that dude that like, it was just like an everyday thing. He was in a pair of jean shorts and a tank top, and this guy walked up, started getting ready to rob the place. The guy pulled out his personal carry and shot him dead. You know what I mean? And I fully agree. I think we need more people like him, man. There's several stories. I think that's amazing that there's people that are just like, you know what? Not here, not today. You know what I mean?
Man. Yeah, it really throws that whole like wrench in their argument when they're like a lot of them have been saying. I think this article goes into it eventually, like that the number of like civilians that are armed that actually stop mass shootings is really low. But I mean, when you look into it, like most mass shooters go to gun-free zones, and usually
right
law-abiding gun owners, they try to play by the rules and all that stuff, and they're not carrying in those locations. So
I think every place should allow legal carries like that, man, because of
definitely.
things like that. And if you think it from a business standpoint, would you rather your business be known, to allow their customers to carry guns, just to save a situation like that, or would you like to be known as the business that had like 35 people killed because they just ran like sheep as the wolves came in? You know what I mean? And that's basically what it is. There's wolves out there, and you can either be a wolf or you can be a sheep. They're trying to make a sheep so we die to the wolves. you know.
No doubt. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't like the arguments that they try to put forward. Like, hey, let's go ahead and get back into this. We're gonna read a little bit more of this article. But yeah, we go down here. As happens with just about every mass shooting these days, of which there are plenty, include what appeared to be two in the Indianapolis area on Sunday, Americans were quick to respond to the news, depending on their views about guns. Even when details about the mass shooting at Greenwood Park Mall were sparse, the moment served as a rallying cry for politicians and advocates who argue that law-abiding citizens with guns are an antidote to America's spat of mass shootings. So yeah, let's. Sunday's cry, though, came just hours after the news emerged that Texas House Committee noted that police officers failed to intervene to stop the massacre of children and teachers at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. All told, 376 police officers were present at the scene, the report found, or as they were quickly criticized on social media, nearly 400 good guys with guns who failed to stop one bad guy. But in Indiana, the armed bystanders' action provided a sharp contrast. He was a good guy with a gun, and while 3 were fatally shot and 2 others were injured, Dickens stopped the bad guy before he hurt more people. Those views were galvanized on Monday as authorities began releasing more details about Dickens' actions, which the Greenwood police chief described as both proficient and tactically sound. Yeah, and that's something that I really want to... yeah, the whole Uvalde shooting with the elementary school, I think we talked about that a little bit a few episodes ago. But yeah, like, they're saying that there was 376 police officers that were outside the school and they did nothing.
No, because they try and they try and talk it out, and sometimes, I mean, I understand there was children at stake and you have to be careful because they could kill more people, but it's like they're in there terrorizing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and this is exactly like why I have a problem with like all these gun control laws and all these things that they're trying to push. It's like they say, oh well, we got cops around, like they should be the ones that come out. They say like civilians aren't trained enough to be able to handle situations like this. But I mean, you had 376 police officers down in Texas that did nothing. They were just standing. Well, they did something. There were parents that were trying to get in there and save their children, and they were detaining the parents. Like that.
Wow.
That whole situation has me pissed off. Like,
it almost makes me feel like not necessarily every teacher, but I think principals should have a firearm, in the office, locked away, of course, so it's not within access of a student or nothing. But there should definitely, like, well, hell, the high school here, man, they have a police station inside of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is, like, I guess, a pretty good idea because it deters anything from going down there, considering there's already police there. There is no response time. They're already there, kind of thing. So that's cool. But, I mean, it kind of hurts my heart that we live in a society where we have to have that.
Oh, yeah, it definitely sucks that we have to have that. But, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, like, even, like, when I went to high school, like, we had cops there, and I've noticed, like, locally, at least around here, I don't know how it's going, like, nationwide, but there is a push to get cops out of the schools because they say that they're, like, threatening to the students or whatever.
I can see how it could be a little intimidating, honestly. School should be a friendly place of learning, and it's almost like a camp.
But I mean, like,
anymore.
when you look at it, like, even when I was in school, like, there were, like, fights all the time.
Yeah,
cops.
You're gonna have that, though. I mean, unfortunately,
cops had to intervene, like, quite frequently, like, every day because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just something.
Yeah,
Our
my
culture
school
is
was pretty bad too.
like devolving and like they're. I
We're
don't.
destructive. Humans are destructive. Just plain and simple, we are.
One
It's in
thing
our
that
nature.
real quick before I forget about it, the guy that stopped the mass shooter, his name was Elijah Dickin.
Elijah, yeah.
Yeah, they were first saying that it was within 2 minutes of the gunman opening fire that he drew his handgun and began firing, but then they came back and actually corrected it. It was actually 15 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 seconds from the gunman started shooting. Here it says right here, the gunman fired 24 rounds and Dickin fired 10, hitting him 8 times.
Wow.
That is like some
That's
serious
pretty
precision.
damn accurate.
Yeah.
Very nice. And he lives in Indiana. I feel safer already.
Right. Here, let me. There was something that I wanted to pull up. I need to look at it real. I need to look for it.
You
real
talking
quick.
about the Good Samaritan one?
No, I got that. There was. I talked about her before. What's her name? Shannon Watts. She's the founder of Moms Demand Action. Man, my mind is just going blank today. I don't know what's going on. But she had a tweet that she sent out that was just so stupid. I gotta try to find it though.
Organizing Works. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Ghost Guns in Washington.
Ah, here we go. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay, so yeah, you're not going to be able to see it, but I don't know who needs to hear this, but when a 22-year-old illegally brings a loaded gun into a mall and kills a mass shooter armed with a AR-15 after he already killed 3 people and wounded others is not a ringing endorsement of our implementation of the Second Amendment. I'm just now
floored at how utterly stupid that comment was. That is actually the definition of our Second Amendment right. You know?
Oh my gosh. The fact that she's going to say that he illegally brought a loaded gun into the mall, like I don't know. I know
well, okay, what's the stipulations of the mall? Does it say you can't have a sidearm or
that's what I don't know. I don't know like I know around us the mall over here they have a no weapons sign, and like you're not supposed to bring weapons in there. And I know that's in Indiana, I don't think the police will get involved in a way like if like the mall were to call them about somebody bringing in a loaded gun into the mall. I think it's more along the lines like they'll say that like you need to leave, and if you don't leave, then they'll call the police, and then you'll get hit for like I don't know. Oh man, the word just escaped me. Trespassing.
well,
Because
okay.
I believe that police in Indiana don't respect that whole thing about like carrying into a business. Like you can't get charged for that. But the way that
one of their rules, it actually doesn't specifically state. It says while visiting this mall, the following general activities will not be accepted: violations of the law, any activity that threatens the safety of our guests, any activity that threatens the well-being of the property, any activity that disrupts our pleasant family-oriented shopping environment, any activity, blah, 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 blah. Nothing actually says anything about guns.
Yeah,
but then it says examples of specific activities that are prohibited included, but are not limited to disruptive profanity, vulgar or threatening, unnecessarily blocking walkways, running, horseplay or disorderly conduct, excessive loitering, operating unauthorized recreational and or personal transportation devices, and no firearms or illegal weapons. Now, which is it? Is it no firearms or just no illegal weapons?
See, I think it all depends on if like they have a because I've seen
Permit.
it before. Like if they no, we don't need permits in Indiana anymore. So,
Oh yeah, that's
if the
Indiana. Never mind.
if
I'm
the
sorry.
mall has like a no weapons sign on the door, then that's pretty much like you're they're telling you, hey, we don't want you to bring weapons into our business, and you're supposed to respect that. If not, then yeah, like I said, they could call the police. Well, they have to ask you to leave, and then if you don't leave, then they call the police and get you on trespassing. It's pretty much that whole, pretty much how they were doing it with like the mask law, where like you couldn't actually be arrested for being in a business without wearing a mask, but if they told you to get out, like it's like they had the right to um, like kick people out of their business if they don't want them in there. However, I know there's a way to say that, but let me look. I know there was something. I know there was something else in this article that I wanted to point out. Na, 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 na.
Well, I'm looking at the front door of Greenwood right now. There is no sign that says no firearms or nothing.
How you? What did you go to like Google Maps or whatever, or look up a picture of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Myers over here they have a no weapons allowed sign. So and
Yeah,
it's
I'm
pretty
looking
much,
at the
I
very
mean,
front.
if you're concealed carrying, then I mean, what they don't know won't hurt them. But I don't know. I hate that whole thing. But okay, we're just gonna go ahead to this next article from USA Today. Transition. Okay, so a good Samaritan with a gun stopped a shooter in an Indiana mall. I have mixed feelings. Now, this is an opinion article from USA Today, but this guy just irritated me reading this because it's kind of been that like the people who are against guns are like, yeah, we don't like the fact that there was a mass shooter, but we also don't like the fact that like a citizen was exercising his rights and he actually stopped it. So they're like, yeah, we're glad that more people didn't die, but the guy still shouldn't have came into the mall with his gun which
Yeah, see
what
why can't we just stop it right there? Instead, I'm glad more people didn't die.
yeah.
Why do they have to add that but? You know what I mean? A dude saved lives that day. Cuz God knows how many he could have killed before it was over.
No doubt.
I think it's ridiculous that they're trying to chastise this guy for what he did. Kudos to you, dude.
Oh,
Right
no,
on to you, Elijah.
he is definitely a hero.
Yep, he's
Definitely.
100% a hero. And don't let anybody ever make you think otherwise, buddy.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at this article. So he goes and says, "A good Samaritan killed the shooter." That phrase alone immediately evoked mixed feelings for me. I had just driven past the Greenwood Park Mall on Sunday right before a man with a gun killed 3 people. He was stopped when an armed bystander shot and killed him. My home in Greenwood, Indiana, not even 5 miles away from the mall, is halfway between the city of Indianapolis and the rolling Indiana countryside. While, of course, I am thrilled lives were saved, I can't help but imagine that the events that occurred will be fodder to further loosen gun regulations. I can't be the only one who feels split into on this contentious issue. So yeah, like he's like
On the very right
he's
of
like
that, if you look, this is what confuses me. I just noticed this actually because I already read through this too. But on the very right, it says in this article, and it starts having hashtags. There's one for Indiana, gun shooting.
that.
Why
Oh
is
yeah.
suicide in this one? Violent
What?
crime, I get. Yeah. Indiana, guns, shooting, suicide, gun control, violent crime, the Greenwood Park Mall, and Hoosiers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Probably them just trying to get the article out, and I don't know.
It's
Maybe I just need to start throwing random tags in with my articles that I put on the website.
what's
Maybe
that?
more
What's that
people
Norm
see it.
Macdonald you have? The commie.
Oh yeah.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Love that man.
Oh, rest in peace. He was a great guy. But no, I mean, like, they're like, oh, like it's really awesome that he saved all these people, but we want more gun control because they think that
Right.
gun control is what is going to stop the original shooter that came in there.
Like I said, you want to handle the gun problem, start dealing with the illegal guns. Start worrying about the shipments that are coming every year or every day into our shipyards. You know what I mean? Like find the corrupt people that are paid off to look the other way and start solving that
Oh, no
problem.
doubt.
Don't
I
take
mean-
the protection from the Americans.
Definitely. I mean, like, especially when you look into that. I mean, we've talked about that before. Like there's all these crime reform bills that are coming through where they're trying to be like more lax on criminals, whether it comes from like a racial standpoint or from a poverty standpoint. Like we've seen like in like California how people are able to just like walk into these stores and just steal whatever they want. Like there's this
Yeah.
like increasing
I've actually seen videos of people doing that and like nobody's doing anything. Like people filling whole bags and then just
I
walking
did
right
see
out of
this
the
one
store.
video that was absolutely hilarious. I think it was at a Walmart, but this guy was like trying to like run out the door with a bunch of stuff, and this lady like came from like the side and just tackled his ass and brought him. Oh, that was so wonderful. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, if anything, we don't need to be lenient. We don't need to be more lenient. We need to be more aggressive with the punishments. You know what I mean?
Well-
And I'm not talking about like your little misdemeanor bullshits. I'm talking like people that are real criminals. You know what I mean? Like that do prison time and everything like that. You know, they ain't learning nothing. Hell, I know people that have been to prison, and half of them say, "Hey, it's 3 hots and a cot." You know, no big deal to them.
yeah.
So they don't care. You can also go in there and come out like a lawyer. You know, they have everything you need to learn whatever you need. Loopholes in laws, you know, just I don't think I will argue about the food though. Criminals or not, they still need to eat right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
some of them.
Some of them don't deserve to eat anything at all. And honestly,
Just
I
bury
think
them under prison.
yep, certain ones we should just like pedophiles. I'm sorry, you know. I know right now our government has quite a few of them intertwined in our system and everything, but pedophiles should be drug out into the street, beat to death by the parents, and then shot. You know,
This makes common sense.
right? I'm glad you agree. Shadow voice.
I'm hoping that's coming through the live stream. I'm looking right now.
I think anybody
Hey, we
that
got
beats
one
their
viewer,
fucking
so-
mom up and goes to jail should also be killed, man, because something ain't right with that guy already,
Oh,
anyways.
definitely. But
You know.
yeah, let's go ahead and keep on looking at this lovely article. Yeah, this here. What's this guy's name? Oh, Amanda Jane Miller. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to like assume genders or anything. So Amanda. But yeah, let's okay. So like many Hoosiers,
Sorry.
like many Hoosiers, my dad hunted deer, so I grew up with guns in the house. By college, I was a pretty good skeet shooter, and when my family passes my great grandfather's gun onto me, I will take it into my house. I grew up around guns, and I know how dangerous they can be. But I am also a social scientist. Oh boy. I collect data and analyze research. I know the gun-related suicides
Nerd.
and
No, I'm
homicides
kidding.
are up. What was that?
I said nerd. No.
Nerd. What a nerd. But yeah, so the author of this article continues to say the highest they have ever been since a quarter of a century. I know that about 430 people die every year in the United States from accidental gun deaths. Sadly, I know that those accidental gun deaths happen disproportionately to children and young adults. And I know that women who are abused by their partners who have access to guns are 5 times more likely to be killed than other women. Reconciling these two experiences, growing up around guns and people who use them responsibly, and the knowledge of guns' potential danger is something many of us attempt to do. So, yeah. I mean,
And then you go into the mental health, which goes along with that bill. Finally, we can call 988 suicide hotline so we can tell somebody without their permission that they're not allowed to have a gun because we personally, opinionally, think they're crazy.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all coming together, Ricky. It's all coming together for him.
It's a conspiracy. But I mean, like the stuff like she just mentioned up there, like children dying because of accidental gun deaths are tragedies. And I mean most people that are like gun advocates, they advocate also for gun safety. Like that's a big thing with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree. They should go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
but I mean, like when you also look at it, like there's a lot of things that like happen. I mean, horrible things happen all the time, like car accidents. I mean, we're not talking about like getting rid of cars. I mean,
No, we're just trying to get them to drive on their own. You know?
oh, I saw something today. I don't know if it's true. It's just some picture that I saw on Facebook, but it said that if you pour salt in a circle around a self-driving car in a certain way with serrated lines or whatever, where there's like space in between the lines, the car will like look at it like it's like a no passing zone, and it won't go anywhere. Because you know, like how the road, how it has like the no passing and whatever with the straight line and the split lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's true. It's just absolutely hilarious. But like we've said before, we're not getting into a self-driving car, so
No, never. No.
I'll send somebody else to go make that test for me.
I'm not testing shit like that.
We'll get Ryan to do it.
That sounds like a plan. I'm down.
Okay. So let's see.
I did go through the comments on this whole article that we're reading through here, and I do like what I see from a lot of these people, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like some of them are pretty lengthy and everything, but just like the end of this one really makes me happy that this person says this. It says the writer also thinks that their experience with weapons and knowledge about them, which sounds very limited, makes their opinion worth more than it actually is. And they do, you know. This guy probably thinks, well, I grew up with guns, so I should be an authoritative voice on it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, I grew up around guns too. My grandpa had a 22 and a rifle. I barely shot it. It was like a summer kind of thing. Doesn't make me an expert. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I don't even consider myself an expert. I mean, I know
Right.
a lot of things about guns. I mean, I love guns. They're fun. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They go pew pew. I like it. But
This is my boomstick.
say hello to my little friend. But no, I mean, yeah, it's just like this whole like conversation around like the whole gun issue. Like nothing is ever a good situation for them. Like this should be like something that everybody says like, no, we're happy that this guy was there to stop this mass shooter because he came in with 2 rifles. I think he had like either 100 to 200 rounds of ammunition with him. Like he came there to do damage.
Oh yeah.
Like so many people could have been killed through this. Like,
Yep.
Like I truly feel horrible for the people that like were killed in this, but I mean you have to think like
I
all
do
the
too.
lives
There
that were
could have
saved
been
from
more
that
though.
guy.
Hell yeah.
Like,
He saved a lot, I bet, because malls are packed. You know.
Malls are packed. That's why I don't like going to them. I'm not a big mall person.
Yeah, me too. I don't like crowds.
Every
of
single
people.
time my wife convinces me to go to the mall with her, I'm just like 5 seconds in the door. Why did I agree to this?
Can I go home now?
I wanna go
Can I wait in
home.
the car?
Okay, but let's go ahead and get into the next article. I don't like this story, but I think it's something that really needs to be talked about, especially.
Oh, I like the story. I just don't like what they have to say about it. You know, like the story's great. The dude is awesome. I freaking love him. But what these people have to say about
No,
it,
no, no, no.
I
I'm
don't
talking
agree
about
with.
the next topic with the 10-year-old.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you threw me for a loop because I was like, no, this is like the article that the people who wrote the article. I trust these people. I like these people. And I was like, what are you talking about, bud? Like all these people that are putting in their little opinions about what they think about guns and all that stuff. They're all retarded and.
Oh, I like
Fans,
this
but it
guy.
sounds like that's some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yes.
I don't have mixed feelings. He saved a lot of lives. Period. Simple.
Exactly.
To the point. I like that guy.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to get into this next topic. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the 10-year-old girl from Ohio that they're saying had to travel to Indiana to get an abortion because she was past the 6-week mark and Ohio had implemented a heartbeat law. And the whole conversation around this has been like a lot of people were saying like when it first came out like, oh, we don't believe you guys, we don't see any evidence about this. It did happen. Here, let's go ahead and throw this up. So 27-year-old illegal immigrant charged with raping 10-year-old Ohio girl who traveled to Indiana for abortion. So I mean this did happen, and it's absolutely horrible. The part about this that becomes like the controversial issue is whether or not the girl could have gotten an abortion in Ohio because of this heartbeat law. Like if anybody knows anything about the gestation period, I think that's what they refer to it during the pregnancy. But at around like 6 to 8 weeks, that's when you can start like detecting like
Hearing
the
a
heartbeat. And so a lot of states are putting in the heartbeat law, but what the pro-choice people aren't telling people about these laws is there are exemptions for like health risk and stuff like that. Like I haven't seen a single state that's put anything out that says like if there's going to be a risk to the mother, like that they can get an abortion. Like I'm pretty sure if they would have actually like tried to get the abortion in Ohio, like they would have been able to do it because of like the health exemptions that they had or health exceptions that they had. But
Well, not only that, but a 10-year-old girl shouldn't be giving birth to a child.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I
this
mean,
is
that-
one of those
that
instances
definitely
where I
has to-
agree.
like I've said before that I'm like I'm completely pro-life, that I don't think like regardless of rape or incest, I don't think any abortion should be happening. But I when it comes to stuff like this, I don't think that it's actually like it would be healthy for a 10-year-old girl to have to go through a pregnancy. Yeah, it's a horrible event. I mean, either way, I mean, I do believe that she would have been able to get the abortion in Ohio if they would have actually made the attempt. But from what it seems like they were covering up the pregnancy. I think because I've seen some stuff where like the mother still doesn't want to hold the guy responsible. I think because she's worried about him getting deported or whatever. But I don't know. The whole situation is just weird. They're wondering if the doctor who performed the abortion in Indiana actually like filled out the paperwork properly. But let's go ahead and get into this article. Okay, so the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade triggered a 6-week abortion ban in the state. The girl was said to be 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant at the time she sought an abortion. Gershon Fuentes, 27, was arrested by Columbus police for raping and impregnating the child on Tuesday. The department says that he confessed to raping the girl on at least 2 occasions. According to the report from the Columbus Dispatch, police were made aware of the girl's pregnancy through a referral by Franklin County Children's Services that was made by her mother on June 22nd. Detective Jeffrey Hun, that's a name, testified Wednesday morning at Fuentes' arraignment. On June 30th, the girl underwent a medical abortion in Indianapolis. So the detective testified that DNA samples were preserved by the clinic in Indianapolis and are now being tested against a sample from Fuentes and samples from the child's siblings. The girl turned 10 recently, so it is believed that she was impregnated when she was 9. Jeez, that is just horrible. So he's being held on $2 million bond at the Franklin County Jail. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison. Prior to Fuentes' arrest, the girl's story published by Indy Star went massively viral as abortion supporters pointed to it as a worst-case scenario coming true. The claim about the 10-year-old was made by abortionist Dr. Caitlin Bernard, but she declined to provide more information when pressed by various media outlets. However, after President Joe Biden pointed to the little girl in defense of abortion access, the validity of the story began to be challenged. Imagine being that little girl, Biden said. I'm serious. Just imagine being that little girl, 10 years old. This is the same video where he said, repeat the line, just to put that out there. Okay, so Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost made several media appearances. Yost, I don't care.
Yost, I know somebody with that last name. It's Yost.
I don't care. He's the Attorney General there. That's all we need to know. Media appearance claiming that there had not been any reports of a pregnant 10-year-old in the state. We have regular contact with prosecutors and local police and sheriffs, not a whisper anywhere, Yost said during an appearance on Fox News earlier in this week. Every day that goes by, the more likely that this is a fabrication. I know the cops and prosecutors in the state. There's not one of them that wouldn't be turning over every rock looking for this guy, and they would have charged him, Yost continued. I'm not saying it could not have happened. What I'm saying to you is there is not a damn scintilla of evidence, and shame on the Indianapolis paper that ran this thing on a single source who has an obvious axe to grind. So then he went on to say, after the arrest, we rejoice anytime a child rapist is taken off of the streets. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, there was talk like people didn't believe that it had actually happened. But with this guy being arrested, it's showing that it is happening. People need to stop. But man, I don't know. The whole
I was
situation.
reading this other thing at the bottom here about over 80 House Democrats signed a letter urging Biden to declare public health emergency over abortion.
Yeah.
And they label it a crisis.
I mean, more than likely, I see this as like I said, I do believe that given the health exceptions that they have in the bill, like the girl should have been able to get an abortion in Ohio. I mean, I don't think a 10-year-old can like I don't know that it doesn't make sense.
They could.
But,
Unfortunately,
would that actually be healthy for the child though? Like, would it put her life at risk? That's what I'm wondering. Like,
would it put her life at risk? Most likely, no. With the medical, breakthroughs we have with pregnancies and stuff like that, women can damn near go through it. Well, the beginning parts of it would be pretty painful, but it's just physically wise, unless she had serious underlying health issues, no, it would hurt like hell, but she probably wouldn't die from it. But it would be more of like a psychological damaging to her, because she's now 10 years old, and instead of being a kid, she just gave birth, man. She just left.
I don't know. I just think that
future.
Like me, like I said, I'm against abortion. I don't want to see it happen. But I mean, that's a case.
I'm
where,
against abortion to an extent. This is what I'm talking about, is the extent.
Exactly.
If a girl gets raped and gets pregnant, she deserves her life should not be ruined because somebody.
It depends. It depends on the case. I mean, because to me, it's still killing.
Well, I'm not talking about, and you can common sensely look at these girls that just call that out as rape because they weren't happy with whatever happened or whatever. A 10-year-old girl, come on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with this whole situation. Like
And unfortunately, more often than I'd like to admit, there's women that are raped a lot, and not just girls, but
I mean, when you look at the
too,
stats that happen from it, like I know, now, the stats could be off, basically because like a lot of states don't require like you to give a reason for why the abortion is happening. But when you look into like actual statistics about abortions, like rape and incest like count for like less than 1% of all abortions that are happening in the country.
Right.
Like,
maybe there should be a little bit of an investigation about it if they're gonna, you know what I mean? But I mean, they women with that situation need that
whole thing about why like Roe v. Wade was the whole right to privacy and all that stuff is why that they were able to do that. And
I understand, but
that's why people need to understand like why Roe v. Wade was like a horrible law. I mean, like it never,
I just think women should be able to choose. I know we kind of go, yeah, up to a point. Like, I don't think 9 months is acceptable. I don't think 6 months is acceptable, because you would know if you really don't want your
But I mean,
kid,
literally, like how late is too late? Like when, like the whole point of like the abortion argument is like, when does life start? When does the baby growing in her stomach?
It doesn't always, in my opinion, it doesn't always matter when life starts, because some of these women don't know they're pregnant. Well, that goes into a whole nother discussion, because they're not, I don't know. Technically, okay, so the way I believe it is, if you could take that baby out of that belly and it could still survive without the mother, then yes, that's alive. If a heartbeat or not, if you can't take that baby out and it can't sustain itself by itself.
You're pretty much just saying viability then, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's the term that they use for like if the baby can survive outside the womb. I think like the earliest they've said is like 21 weeks.
Right. So in my opinion, if that baby can't survive outside that mother's womb, that baby is still technically a part of that woman.
I disagree, but
I mean, like I said before,
like,
some women,
I can understand your
some women
argument
have
on
been pregnant. There's a girl that actually gave, I've heard stories about this. Girls given birth and they didn't even know that they were pregnant. Yeah. Like there was a girl that actually went to prison some years back. I'm not exactly the exact sure about the exact date, but there was a girl that went to prison because she gave birth to a baby and tried to hide it.
No shit.
Like she had stomach cramps real bad. She went to the bathroom, was trying to solve the issue, didn't know if she had to shit or if it was a really bad period or whatever. Well, then the baby came out. She panicked, wrapped it in a blanket, tried to throw it away. Somebody found it. She ended up getting caught and going to prison over it. You know what I mean? Because it was a baby that died. Now, they were at one point trying to decide whether the baby had died before, like if it was a miscarry or whatever, or if the baby actually came out, and they said that it actually took like a few breaths before it died. And that's crazy. And that's why I say women can get raped and get pregnant and not know it for quite some time. You know what I mean? They could just think that they have a stomach flu or something.
But
Until they go and
generally,
take a
like,
pregnancy
if
test,
they've
they don't
been
know.
raped, and they should be reporting the rape. Like they should go and they should get.
You're
checked
right.
out. Like
You're right.
Like I've heard a lot of.
It's
arguments.
embarrassing. I get it, but I agree.
But I mean, how do you? There's only two ways that you can prevent a rapist from raping again. Either you report him and you have him arrested, or carry and boom, boom.
Well, I agree. I do think women maybe should be more
Like of course, like you said, it's
accepting
going to
to
be
the
like
fact of carrying a gun.
Yeah, like
even if it's just a little pea shooter.
I mean, something. I mean,
Yeah.
I.
And they carry mace and everything like that, but
mace doesn't.
But then
work.
again, if you
I've
think
seen
about
people
it, a lot
get
of the
sprayed with
time,
mace and they keep on coming.
Yeah. No
Mace and
comment.
tasers can only go so far.
No
A
comment.
rapist isn't going to rape if you put a 38 slug through him.
Well, this is true, but then again, you also have to think, like statistically, most of the rapes happen from behind. Like they get subdued from behind; they're not able to reach. That's why some of these defense
But I mean,
classes
at
and everything
least
tell
having,
them have
like,
them keys in
something.
their hands.
I mean, at least have it something. I mean,
Yeah, they tell women to carry mace, but you know what? Like you said, I know people that will take mace in the face and say, "Fuck," I don't give a shit. I'm still coming.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
You just
This
make
is
them more
happening
mad.
whether you like it or not, kind of thing. Yeah. Now you have a chance. If you, then there's another thing they run into. If they wound the man instead of actually killing him, now they could be killed because they try to defend themselves. It's an up and down battle for women. It really is, and I feel for them. I do, because they're subjected to all this political bullshit when it's. Honestly, it's their body, it's their decision. Now, I agree. At 9 months, we shouldn't have much to say on it, honestly, because we're men. We don't know what it's like. We don't.
That's retarded.
Okay.
No,
No,
just because
shush.
I can't go through the experience, I can't have an opinion on it. That's stupid.
I mean, you can to an extent, but you're sitting here telling women that's like us telling you can't get a vasectomy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you could tell me
it's
that.
your choice. It's your choice.
You can tell me that. I can tell you to shut the fuck
Right.
up.
Right. It's your choice. So why is it any different for the women that
Because
get raped and pregnant?
It comes down to the point of when we determine whether that's a life or not, and if you have a right to take away that life. We
I
can't just
agree
sit
with
by
the whole
and-
living outside. If it can live outside the woman, then yes, it's alive, and you should not be able to abort it. But if it cannot live without the mother,
Okay, but that
You know.
ranges between like certain weeks. I mean, I
It
don't know.
does.
I don't think that I don't agree with. I can understand your argument on that. Like that's the most like I can accept those arguments from people, but it gets to the point where like people will like go all the like we've seen with like the Democrats trying to pass that.
yeah,
bill where it
oh
goes
yeah,
all the
I
way up
know,
to 9 months.
and that's
It's like-
ridiculous. And even up to a turn like carrying, like fucking having the baby. They were saying.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that
there was a,
is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But I am not willing to put my opinion to say they don't have a choice in the say so at all. It's our political decision on whether you guys get to do this or not.
But
You know what I mean?
If a
That's-
majority of doctors were to come out and say, at 6 weeks the baby is alive, like would you say, okay, then they don't have the right to kill it?
I think that's a bit unfair because I know several cases of women that
if the
didn't.
baby is alive, do they have the right to kill it?
like I said, if you let me finish, I don't agree with that because some women don't know that they're pregnant after a rape past 6 weeks. So what are you going to do for them females that got raped, reported it, didn't know they were pregnant, now 8 weeks later they're pregnant and they can't get a fucking abortion because we said no? You know, even though it's not our body, our decision, and it didn't happen to us, we told them they can't take that decision. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's your
You
opinion,
know.
but I just don't. If
6
it's a baby,
weeks,
we
I
shouldn't
think,
be
is way
killing it.
too early. Well, you know, I don't think we should be killing anybody at all, but there's certain stipulations that I think should overrule that. You're getting pregnant, like I've said before in other episodes, you get pregnant because you were dumb, young, and didn't use protection, then yeah, I don't think that abortion should be. If you don't want the baby, give it up for adoption after it's born. But if you were held against your will, forced to have intercourse, probably brutally in most cases, and ended up having a child from it, yeah, I would say you're more than entitled to an abortion. Because I wouldn't want to carry a child from. First of all, genes, even on a genes level, would you want the genes of somebody that just did that? You could be literally raising another rapist. You know what I mean? Like,
That
it's
kinda
a
gets
fine
into,
line,
like, the
man.
whole eugenics talk. Like,
I'm not talking about splicing genes and shit. I'm talking like
eugenics is like where they.
that's a horrible person that just raped this woman, and you want to like carry that child and say it should live. You know what I mean? I get what you're going to say
I
about
don't
it
think
too. I get
that
that,
correlates though, because I mean, like I've heard people that have talked that have like actually came out of instances like that where like the mother decided to keep the child, and then
but yeah,
like they.
I've heard of cases like that too. But then you got to
I
think
mean,
about
just because it results.
how is
like
that kid
doesn't
gonna
mean
take
the
it?
child is going to grow up like that. I mean, it all depends on how
You're
the child's
right
gonna
to an
grow up.
extent, but I do think that I don't know. That's a back and forth kind of case too, because there's been proof of children of very bad people that never knew the very bad parent, but still ended up like that parent. You know what I mean? And there are cases like that, but there's also cases where it doesn't turn out like that. All I'm saying is that if a woman is held against her will and is impregnated, she has the right to say, I don't want this baby. And I think there's too many people putting their 2 cents in saying, well, you can't do that because I don't like that. You know what I mean? That's like somebody telling me to do something I don't want to do. Screw you, dude. I'm going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? It's just,
I'm still
that's
gonna
their
say
body.
my opinion on it. I mean, I've heard that. I've
No,
heard that
yeah.
argument, like,
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
oh, no
course.
uterus, no opinion. I don't care. I view it as they are killing babies, and I'm gonna say something about it. I'll always say something about it. I'm never gonna stop saying something about it because
I don't consider it killing babies unless they kill it like wild. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just don't think.
I believe life
I
begins
don't
at conception. I mean, that's. I mean,
And that's no.
yeah.
I don't agree with that. Just by having sex with a woman does not mean that. Yeah, I don't agree. Agree to disagree on that one, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, women should have that choice. I'm not saying that they should be able to do it up to 9 months. That's ridiculous. And even after birth, that's
Okay.
ridiculous
Look at it this
as
way.
well.
Look at it this way. Since like there's states like California and Colorado where they allow abortion all the way up to 9 months. If you had to choose between the two, like either a complete ban on it or all the way up to 9 months, like no questions asked, which would you choose?
I wouldn't choose either because that's not right.
No, if you could push the button right now and make either one the law of the land, like which one would you choose?
I don't like making decisions for other people. I'm going to stand by that, man. You know? I don't like making decisions for other people. This is somebody else's body, life, and well-being. You know what I mean? Like, they got raped and had a child. No, do I agree that that's a birth control fucking manner? No, I don't believe that women should use that as birth control. But do I think that everybody in society has a right to say you're not allowed to remove a child that you didn't want in your belly because of some fuck try to hold you down and have sex with you? Yeah, I don't. I just don't feel comfortable making that decision on my own, man. Like that's not my decision to make. If anything, that should be like a woman's community thing. What do they think? You know what I mean? But
Well, there's a lot of women that disagree with it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. It's just, but that's them. They're women, not me. You know what I mean? Like I don't. And you can call me retarded or whatever, but my opinion is my opinion, my friend.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for this episode. We've gone on for about an hour. Now I'm going to throw up this little ad that we have. Boom. Oh, I didn't size that right. That's going to be looking funny for the people on YouTube. But, yeah, you can find the audio podcast anywhere that you listen to audio podcasts. We're on Spotify, Apple, CastBox, Google, all of that. Jeez. Yeah, I couldn't get enough. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and put it back to us. Like I said, this is our first live stream, so
they'll get better.
They'll get better. Eventually, I want to have somebody that's actually like controlling everything. That way, I don't have to do it because it's kind of confusing, like hitting all these.
Because you're lazy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, go to YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification icon so you can know whenever we put out content. If we can get this live stream thing going, we'll probably start putting more content out. Eventually, what I'd like to do is, like when our state legislation, like I want to start paying more attention to that. So, like especially with like the midterm elections coming up this year, I want people to know more about who they're voting for, and our state legislators actually have like a live stream while they're like voting on stuff and they're talking about stuff. And I'd actually like to do live streams, kind of like watching that and kind of like talk about what they're talking about. I think that'd be pretty interesting. But yeah,
that'd be pretty neat.
We have a Facebook page that you can go and find on Facebook. Just search A Couple of Hoosiers podcast in there and you can find it. You can go to the website and subscribe and get everything that we put out at coupleofhoosiers.com. Not a couple of Hoosiers, just couple of Hoosiers. I write a blog for every episode, so you can check that out. We're probably going to be putting out more blogs and more stuff for you guys to read. So be sure to subscribe with your email address to the website. But yeah, this has been fun. It's been a good conversation. And
I agree.
But yeah, it's been real. We're going to go ahead and sign off on here and do all that. Hopefully this was all sounding good on this end. We'll go back and check it out later.
I'll probably watch it here in a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Eventually, like, this is the way that I would rather do it. That way we don't have to go through the whole process of, like, editing and putting everything together. That just takes up so much time that...
A lot of time, yeah.
That working a full-time job and doing this and trying to spend time with the family, that just takes out so much time. And if we could just put it all right out there just immediately, that'd be great. But... We'll catch you guys next week at Friday. If we do continue to do the live streaming, we're probably going to try to start live streaming every Friday around 5 or 6. We'll be sure to let you guys know. But, yeah, anything you got to say, Charlie?
Have a good weekend, guys, and stay safe.
Ditto. You guys take it easy. See you later.